What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another daily show. We're gonna call it today Freestyle Fridays, and I'm basically gonna kind of cover some headline news for you guys, some macro news perspectives, and some wild stuff going on in the world of magic, internet money, and Wonderland, and quadriga. So we have some massive headlines, some huge controversy, and it's just Fias, I heard you, buddy. I heard you. Some free IDO allocations for YouTube fans. We've done that before. And what I would like you guys to do, if you're watching this now, there's only 26 people right here right now. So go to my Twitter. Make sure that you like the tweet I made about this live stream and retweet it and tell people to come watch. If you do that, definitely for sure. Well, we're gonna pick 5 people for whitelist spots on Jurassic Punks. If you didn't catch a Jurassic Punks show, animation I talked about it yesterday on the Crypto Connoisseur show yesterday. It was epic. Very, very cool NFT line. And so go to Twitter right now, like, retweet, please, and we will figure out the IDO allocations because we have some huge ones coming up for paid that we're very, very excited about. Crypto gaming, guys. Also, some really cool things I'm excited about in Dubai at the end of next month. MetaCon, guys. This is the world's first. So I've been in crypto and blockchain for 10 years, and I've been to a ton of conferences. Right, 2014 was my first conference, and it was in London at a library with Roger Ver. If you guys don't know who Roger Ver is, he's a Bitcoin Jesus, right? Founder of Bitcoin Cash, and one of the earliest Bitcoin investors and evangelists. So at 2014, it was called like small little conference where he talked, and it was like half a day, and the social environment was like we all went out to get a sandwich at the deli afterwards at lunchtime, and that was it. Just what is Bitcoin? Ledger was there at the time. Ledger had their like proof of concept little hardware wallets that it wasn't yet in operation, and it has evolved, massively evolved. But crypto has always been a B2B. All crypto conferences have always been B2B, meaning crypto founders and crypto business people. If you're in crypto business, you're going to these conferences. There has never been a consumer show, an end show like CES, Consumer Electronics Show, right? Where all the latest brands and all the fans and players and people, the people who are going to be using these products to actually go touch, feel, see, try, play, experience. Metaverse is all about the experience. And so if you guys can make it out, in fact, if you're watching this, I will make sure that you get a free ticket to go to MetaCon. I know it's in Dubai, but if you make it out there, just let me know and I'll hook you up. If you're watching this, I'll hook you up with a ticket to go to MetaCon. I'm excited about it. It's going to be really, really cool. Let's get into the show, guys. If you are watching this, make sure that you like, please. It helps me out. You guys know how that works. It helps with algorithms. And let's get into some major news going on. So what's been going on with Bitcoin today? Well, and it's been consolidating. It's been consolidating, moving sideways, right? So we had this major correction, and yesterday's live stream, it was like about 38, and now it's at about 36. So I expect to see this actually for a while. People aren't really sure what's happening right now. Not really sure about the equity markets. They're not really sure. Microsoft just came out with their earnings report. We all knew that was going to be really, really big. Microsoft acquiring Activision, as we talked about a few days ago. Additionally, Oculus Rift, getting a lot of positive feedback and news. Microsoft was bound to have a good report, and that led to some optimism in the equities markets, which translated to a bit of support here in the crypto markets because, unfortunately, the crypto market is still quite correlated to the traditional markets. And so I believe that I don't know if you've seen a bottom, it's really hard to say that. And but I do believe that we're very unsure which direction we're headed right now. And so what that means is people are just going to accumulate, and we're going to move sideways, and we're going to see probably some low volume for some time now. And we're going to have to wait and see. Anybody who tells you they know which direction the market's heading is lying to you. And I can tell you that as a matter of fact, right? Because nobody knows where the market's going. Nobody has any idea, except for maybe some massive, huge, crazy whales. Okay, so next we have Elon Musk, right? This guy is just the troll of trolls. But you either hate him or you love him, or kind of like me, you feel, or you're kind of in the middle like me, where you think he's amazing because he's trying to change the world by going to Mars and build, cars and things like that. Quite revolutionary. But I don't understand. I really don't understand. The only thing that to me makes any logical sense. Well, first of all, let me read the tweet to you. It says, "I will eat a Happy Meal on TV if McDonald's accepts Dogecoin." And if you don't know where this is coming from, this is coming from my show I had a few days ago, where I talked about. Wow, look at this! Look at this. Also, Burger King here replying to the tweets as well. Only a king knows what the coin do. This is actually Burger King. Really? This is actually Burger King. This would be crazy. Imagine if Burger King starts accepting Dogecoin. I don't know what the equivalent of a Burger King Happy Meal is, but I'm sure Elon will eat that if Burger King starts accepting Dogecoin. So this is interesting. I guess I'll like it. Why not? So go Dogecoin if you guys are holding Dogecoin. And if you're Burger King, you're probably gonna. If you're Burger King, you definitely should start accepting Dogecoin, because the publicity would be massive. I mean, it'd be stupid if you don't. This is. I mean, Elon obviously has huge bags of Dogecoin, right? This is a reason why he's pumping it. He's pumping his bags. It's not because he actually believes that Dogecoin is revolutionary. It's by far, it's not at all revolutionary, right? But he's got big bags, and I think he likes the meme factor around it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But I think the most interesting part to me actually is the fact that Burger King replied here, and this gives you some hints of what might be going on here. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. So let's take a look at Gibraltar, right? So hold on, let me first get rid of this thing here. So Gibraltar could launch the world's first crypto stock exchange. What does that mean? Well, the headline is quite confusing, considering the fact that stocks and crypto don't make any sense. But basically, Gibraltar base exchange Valerium sorry, the okay, it's Gibraltar has a long history of being very open to the entire crypto market, and like it says here, the Rock hopes a new stock exchange will attract crypto millionaires who want to avoid hefty taxes. So basically, Gibraltar has been long seen as a tax haven. Over the past few years, Gibraltar has been working to restyle itself as a global cryptocurrency hub, right? And so they have been, and we have been saying this for a very long time. Anybody who is crypto friendly, who wants to attract entrepreneurs and anyone in the crypto business for either tax purposes or just friendly regulation in general, they're going to do really, really well. Look at Puerto Rico, for example. Puerto Rico, you guys wouldn't believe it. Puerto Rico is insane. I actually considered for a second, considered, because I'm American, moving to Puerto Rico for tax benefits. But because I spend 99% of the time at my house, I want to live in a very nice place where I live and work, and my team can come and also work with me. But Puerto Rico has attracted a tremendous amount of crypto enthusiasts and entrepreneurs because of the tax benefits there. And this is the same thing Gibraltar is doing. Just to give you some perspective on how effective this is, when I considered for a split second the idea of potentially maybe moving to Puerto Rico, I started exploring what real estate looked like there. And for very, 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 very poor accommodations, it is incredibly expensive. There's 3 areas in Puerto Rico where crypto entrepreneurs live, and each of them, like a 3-bedroom apartment that is decent, I mean, just decent, is like $40,000, $50,000 a month. A month. That's how much demand there is in Puerto Rico because it's a tax haven. So this is something that Gibraltar has been working on for a while. I've actually spoken to a lot of different crypto entrepreneurs in my days that have set up shop here, and they, for some reason, they just haven't gotten enough traction. And this is something that they're trying to do in order to just bring more users there. Let's move on to Facebook, or should I call it Meta, right? So good old Zuck, right? So we all knew there was speculation. Well, not speculation, actually. Zuckerberg talked about the fact that he was going to create Diem, right? And Diem was going to be Facebook coin, Face coin, whatever you want to call it. And then every government around the world, like, just cried out and just said, Zuck, you cannot do this, dude. And he was like, why not? Well, I'll tell you why they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want that to happen because think about how many billions of people are using Facebook, right? Now think about any type of bank in the world, how many customers they have. Any given bank might have millions of customers, right? But when Facebook or Meta now, or Zuck, wants to launch a cryptocurrency and integrate it through Facebook, either Messenger or Facebook itself, probably through Messenger, and think about how convenient that would be and how quickly that would be adopted. Facebook, or Meta, I still can't get used to calling it Meta, would literally become overnight the world's largest bank. Let that sink in for a second. The Meta overnight would become the world's largest bank and most used cryptocurrency in the world, for sure. For sure, if this was allowed to happen. So what was Diem? Well, Diem was supposed to be a basket of different commodities that have been known to be historically stable over time. And so it wouldn't be pegged to the US dollar, which is actually a good thing, right? That would have even been better today, now that we're seeing inflation of the US dollar like crazy and money printer is going to continue to go burr, right? So everybody said, absolutely not, Zuck, and shut it down. They shut it down because they were scared. And who rules the world? Well, it's the US dollar rules the world, right? So then Zuck said, okay, all right, guys, I understand that you don't want me to have my own currency that is more stable, with a better monetary policy, and more widely adopted and used than the US dollar. I get that. So how about I create something called Libra, and we'll peg that to the US dollar. How about that? We'll make a US dollar backed stablecoin. Now, you have to imagine that, so let me back up for a second. One of the reasons why I'm such an advocate for blockchain and decentralized governance and like DAO structures and this whole thing is because as long as lobbying can exist within governments, it's always going to be ran by it will always be ran by big pharma, big food, big agriculture, whatever. They're constantly lobbying for different rules and regulations within the government, right? So in this case, you have to imagine that Zuck was lobbying, which is fine for in this situation. Like, it's just a digital dollar. It would have been just digital dollar. Libra would have just been a digital dollar. But of course, do you think the Federal Reserve wants Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg to have control of the monetary system or have any part of that US dollar? No. The US dollar peg? No. So basically, sum it all up, he just said, screw it, man, I'm out. I'm just going NFT. I'm going metaverse. I will leave the cryptocurrency to somebody else. So Zuck is out of the cryptocurrency race, and who can blame him? So this is all about Celsius, and guys, like this is something that I know Alex Mashinsky, right? Like Alex from Celsius, he's one of the, he's a revolutionary. The guy created voice over IP, right? Like he was one of the inventors of voice over IP, and now he's saying that cryptocurrency is essentially money over IP, and because he's so brutally honest, I had a feeling that there would be adversity there about what they were doing, right? And the only reason that the SEC is bitching and complaining about Celsius is because it's a far better banking product than banks can offer, right? You can put stable coin in Celsius and earn, I don't know, 10, 12%. Banks are giving you they're basically giving you nothing. You put $1 million in the bank, at the end of the year, maybe you have $1,000,002, but it's the US dollar is inflated so much that you've actually lost spending power as well. So the reason that, I don't even need to read the article, I'm just telling you that the reason why now they're giving Alex and Celsius a hard time is because it's competing with the banks, right? It's making, I do not use banks anymore, right? Like I have not used a bank in a long time. It's a horrible product. They're outdated. They're dinosaurs. And now you have people like Alex and Celsius, Nexo, BlockFi. You can call these CFI products, right? Centralized finance. And even though it's basically a custodial service, a non-decentralized kind of innovative product, if you don't know what they are, that deals with cryptocurrency and can still provide way more value than a traditional bank can. And again, I use Celsius for actually collateralizing my cryptocurrency and taking out loans. So not only will they give you interest on stablecoin, but they will also let you take out loans by using crypto as collateral. And I have to imagine that probably pretty soon they'll let you use NFTs as collateral as well and take out loans against them. So this was bound to happen sooner or later. I'm surprised it took so long. I'd be interested to see what actually happens about at the outcome. I also remember that Coinbase, right? Okay, so I remember that maybe it was 2 months ago or something. Coinbase wanted to compete with Celsius and Nexo, and so they tried to offer something I think at 4%, and they said no. The SEC said no, 4% is too high. Get out of here, right? Like how can what Coinbase? Why are you still in the United States? Like what's the point? I mean, it's very limiting on what you can do. They do not want to. When people realize there's such a better product out there, right? There's such a better financial system. Everything seems archaic and ridiculous when you look at everything. Sometimes I come across an article from Business Week or something like that, and it'll say talk about how some guy recommends, this thing for a 401k plan, or the interest in a bank, or whatever, or CD or mutual fund. These things are nobody born today will even know what these things are. They will be an artifact in the history of our financial system. Next up, so we got Putin says Russia has a competitive advantage in crypto mining, right? Which this is intriguing because we have a lot of controversy coming out of Russia, right? So basically, Putin gives his support for crypto mining by saying Russia has a competitive advantage because it has a surplus of electricity, and also the potential of crypto mining hash rate in Russia, making the third largest country in the world for Bitcoin mining, which we know, right? But we also heard recently, I'm a little bit confused, Putin, because we also just heard that you wanted to ban mining as well, right? So the central bank just last week banned cryptocurrency, and Putin is coming back and saying, no, we should allow mining to remain here. So this reminds me a lot of the good old days of China, for example, right? Where the banks were saying no to cryptocurrency, and then the government said, well, you can mine Bitcoin here. It just needs to be done in a regulated fashion and in certain jurisdictions. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, they just said no, blanket ban. And I have a feeling, because there's so much power from the banking system, if they're threatened, this is exactly what happened in China, right? Like, there's so much pressure from the monetary system there that eventually they just said, we need to get mining out of here, even if it's making us money, because this cryptocurrency thing is going to make our fiat currency worthless. And so now you see this back and forth between Putin and the central banks of Russia, having this little bit of conflict about should we or shouldn't we allow crypto mining to continue to happen in Russia. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see. But ultimately, probably what will happen, well, it's hard because Putin has been so back and forth, right? With Vitalik coming there, and yeah, we've talked about this before. But anyway, let's move on to the next article. This is interesting, particularly because there is something, if you guys don't know, and probably most of you don't, I had no idea what this meant, but there's something called MPC, or multi-party computation. Now, this is essentially a new way to transfer digital assets between people that removes the private key in that transfer of ownership. What that does is it allows, it makes cryptocurrency way more safe. It removes the ability, because private keys are the vulnerabilities, right? So if you're new and you're watching this and you don't know, like, you don't necessarily need a password to someone's wallet to hack their account. All you need is a private key. So whenever you create a wallet and you write down these 12 or 24 words, and then you go store, it tells you to go store them somewhere safely and never, ever, ever tell anybody what those are. Those words are a way to regenerate your private key. And if someone has your private key to your wallet, they can get all your assets without ever having to even touch your computer, without having to know your password, nothing, right? That private key is everything. So multi-party computation is somewhat of a new technology. It was actually created about 15 years ago. And it has been for other purposes. Of course, it has been it is advanced cryptography, but it has been brought into the blockchain world. Curve, the FireBlocks, who else was it? Copper.co. Like, These guys are all multi-party computation wallet services. And so this article goes into saying crypto custody firm FireBlocks raises $550 million at an $8 billion valuation. The Series E round was led by D1 Capital Partners, Spark Capital, and Alphabet's independent growth fund, Capital IG. And if you guys don't know who Alphabet is, that is the parent company of Google. So this is a big deal to show you, again, macro perspective of adoption, right? So who's involved here, right? Google's parent company, Alphabet, is involved. That's a big deal. And why is that a big deal? What this is showing you how we are transferring from a place where cryptocurrency is scary because of hacks, right? Because it's complicated, because of these long, complicated addresses that we need to copy and paste to send each other value back and forth. Multi-party computation enables us to send value back and forth almost instantly. It's actually pretty much instantly, pretty much for free, and in a way that doesn't leave you vulnerable for hacks, right? And so this is how a lot of institutions are now using people like Curve and FireBlocks and Copper for custodian of their assets. Because, and why do I know all this? Why do I know all this? Because one of the projects that we're incubating, called Fluid, had to figure out it's a liquidity solution for exchanges, and basically Fluid needs a way to transfer value from exchange to exchange, and needs this kind of level of security. So I've talked to FireBlocks before. We use Copper, for example, at Master Ventures Fund for our custodian services, and I've spoken to FireBlocks before as well about their services. Now, I thought this was interesting for many reasons. One, because it shows you that we are approaching that stage that I've been talking about for a long time, of a more grandma-friendly type of cryptocurrency world, where it's much friendlier and much safer and simple to use. This is where we want to go, right? We can't have mainstream adoption until we have simplicity, safety, and grandma-friendly types of solutions. Now, this is a perfect opportunity for me to tell you about something that I invested into a long time ago, and I'm very, very bullish on. So there is a layer 1 blockchain called Partisia, and Partisia. I'm just gonna. That was almost Johnny said that was almost. Let me just stop my. Let me just get in here real quick and talk to you guys for a second here. Yeah. So, Johnny? Can you give your thoughts on Partisia? This is exactly where I was going with this. It's legit. It's legit. Like, these guys are the inventors of multi-party computation. Literally invented the damn technology, right? So there's a layer 1 blockchain, guys. Layer 1, if you don't know, it's like Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Terra. New one in town, but it's not new. It's been building for a long time. Partisia. Partisia is actually incredible. Speed of light finality is what they're calling it, which means finality in less than a second will probably be better and quicker and faster than Solana. Ultimate safety, using multi-party computation eliminates a lot of risk of hacking and theft, and will actually resolve a lot of the issues that we see around security of cryptocurrency assets. And it's also, there's a lot of other things it's doing, like bring your own coin. So it's actually going to allow an ecosystem where I could create my own coin and have it be used as gas so people can actually build their own applications and use it as gas on chain. So there's a lot of things that Partisia is working on, and I believe that I'm pretty sure it's either, I think it's April or so that they're launching. I was actually really surprised that a lot of the tier one VCs actually missed out on this, because I've worked closely with the team, and when you get a development team that's so absolutely talented to create such an amazing technology that we can see, what I just shared with you guys, even the parent company of Google is now buying just one of the things that was built using this technology, right? Just a wallet solution. FireBlocks is simply a custodian wallet solution. And now someone's building an entire blockchain around that technology. And it's not like they started doing it. It's already on a test net. So I am very excited about this entire ecosystem coming out. So should invest. I can't tell you if you should invest or not. I did. I did a while ago, and I'm very excited to watch this ecosystem evolve. One of the things that I've been working with them on is just the communication, because oftentimes when you have development teams, they are very developer focused, and they're so deep in the tech that they have a hard time communicating the narrative to you guys, to us, to the public. And so marketing hasn't been their strong suit, but they have been picking that up, and the website now looks great. If you guys haven't seen it, it's Credo also. So Credo, Credo is Credo does not solve this. Credo is not a blockchain. Credo, well, maybe there, but Credo's is another. Credo's like FireBlocks or a Curve or a Copper. It's not a Partisia. Just for that there. So let me go back and dive into this whole controversial thing for a second here. This is the crypto Twitter gossip of the day, and this says, how did a former Quadriga exec end up running a DeFi protocol? Wonderland founder explains. So magic internet money is supposed to be at $1, right? And it's not. It's at 97.9 cents. So it lost its peg, and this does not look nice, right? So if we go, so you can see this does not look good at all, right? It is sitting here like this is what it should look like, because it's an algorithmic stablecoin like MakerDAO, for example, where it should instead of being for those of you watching who don't know what that means, instead of being pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar in a way that is actually backed by $1, it uses a lending and borrowing protocol with a variable interest rate based on demand, and that encourages people to either lend or borrow, and basically controls the price. And this is a much if you're interested in how that works, algorithmic stablecoins, let me know in the comments below. I can make a video on it. I think they're very fascinating. I think, I could. They're interesting, right? So I can go into it. But the point is that Quadriga. If you don't know Quadriga was an exchange out of Canada that ended up rug pulling about $192 million from its users. So basically, Quadriga was the largest cryptocurrency exchange in Canada. And then one day, the CEO, the founder, was found dead. And he was found dead in Indonesia. And in a region that just so happened to be also known to falsify death certificates. So this was in 2019. Now, Michael Patron was one of the executives at Quadriga before. He's also a a convicted felon for like burglary and fraud, financial crimes, actually. So he has also been now treasurer of Wonderland DAO. And so there's been a lot going on. So on Curve, over $500 million have been removed from liquidity. And some people believe that that was actually Alameda Research, who had just speculation, nothing to validate that yet. But Alameda did have a huge stake there, and 500 million did get pulled out, which has thrown off this peg that I just showed you guys here. This is not for stablecoin. This is not what you want to see, and this is really bad for confidence in a project like this. So the controversy is, that basically this guy Daniel Stegali, I'm sure I said that wrong. This guy here, he's the chief. He's a chief architect or engineer behind all of these different projects of Frog Nation, which is basically a conglomerate including Popsicle Finance, Wonderland, Abracadabra, and you probably have heard a lot about these recently because a lot of influencers have been talking about them, right? And they've been pumping pretty hard, right? Their cryptocurrency assets, if those don't sound familiar, are ICE, Time, and Spell, and of course, Abracadabra's MIM, Magic Internet Money. All of those, because they're tied to Daniel, and because Daniel brought on Michael, the convicted felon from Quadriga, all of those assets fell at least 30% today. Now the question is that warranted, right? So Michael's conviction was back in 2000. I think it was. Oh, let's see. We can bring on Mike. Mike, you can tell a little bit of a story. Hey guys, if you haven't met Mike, our producer. Hey Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey everybody, good timing. Yeah, so he was actually. Thanks for the heads up. He was actually convicted in 2005 of, like was Kyle saying earlier, like a whole bunch of financial crimes like credit and bank fraud, burglary, grand larceny, computer fraud 2 years later. And that was in 2005. So then we have Daniel saying, well, unfortunately, because of an incident, I had to move out of where I was living, and I had the opportunity to live with Michael for a little bit. And while I was living with Michael, I got to meet him as a person, and it was good vibes. And it's been a long time since 2005. But I don't know how he didn't think of Quadriga, but that's, I guess, another thing to dive into. And then, so for a CEO to make that level of miscalculation from public perception point of view seems like a big lapse in judgment to me. And
yeah, I mean, it's really hard because I believe that people, people deserve second chances. And the thought is Daniel thinks that Michael, it's a turn to second leaf, meaning that, like, some people might say like found Jesus moment or whatever. Some people go to jail, go to prison. This is what I guess what prison is supposed to be for. You did something bad, you go to timeout, and you come back. You think about what you've done, and you come back and you be a good boy or a good girl, right? And maybe that works for some people. And who knows what happened to Michael while he was a convicted felon, or when he was put on timeout, and how he felt genuinely and truly after that. We don't know. But then the fact that he happened to be working with Quadriga, and the CEO bounced out, and he was an executive at Quadriga. You kind of have to wonder, especially since he's been convicted of financial crimes before, if there is a relation there. And yeah, from the public perception, this is definitely not a good look. So I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I mean, for me, it's a really hard call here, and yeah, some, when I first started reading this, I thought, wow, this is this is a really good opportunity to buy back in at something that that maybe is taking blame for somebody that happened to be associated with the shady founder. But then I found out about the criminal background, the convicted felon kind of background, and yet you just can't, you just cannot you cannot be, especially in an industry like this that's so public and so scrutinized. This was a second chance. Well, yeah, I don't know about that. It's a really hard, I want to have someone asked hey Chris, so anyway, so Kyle, would you have partner employed him? No, I wouldn't have. And we do run background checks, and even like, I mean, it's hard for me to know the kind of, because Daniel claims that they spent a lot of time together, right? And so without knowing somebody and hearing their story, it's a really hard situation. If this is going to put a lot of pressure on Daniel right now, and the DAO will most likely, if it is actually a DAO, meaning that majority of the vote is in the hands of everybody here, everybody who's holding these tokens and has voting power. If it's not controlled mostly by Daniel and the other execs of the team, if that vote is able to come in, I'm sure they'll vote him out. I mean, why take the risk? There's 4-point-something billion locked in this protocol. It's a lot of money, just to give someone a second chance. You just don't allow it. And he's treasurer of the DAO, right? So like, it's a very bad decision. A very bad decision to do that. And I'm just thinking about through this with you guys. He has been voted out. That's final. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, yeah, it's good to hear you guys' thoughts here. Like, yeah, I'm just reading some of you guys' comments. I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. No hate on Daniel though. He's a fucking smart dude. Humble too. Things happen, but same mistake twice. Used it afterwards. Yeah, I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about the twice thing. So, yeah, like, do I see time making its way back up from this point onwards, or So this is the thing, right? It's a hard call. More than likely time, and they probably will recover. But would I place my bets on it? No. It's a 30% correction, right? There's much better places to put your bets that are less risky. It's a shame too. If Daniel really built great products, I mean, there was so much traction picking up. $4.6 billion TVL is a ton of money. It's a very successful protocol. Only time will tell. Yeah, true that. Only time will tell. Guys, I'm gonna cut it a little bit short today. Well, I don't even know short. Whatever. But guys, thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't shared this with people and you haven't smashed the like button yet, please make sure that you do that. I really appreciate it. I want to do actually an episode or some shows when like there's a lot more engagement. And if any of you guys have any ideas how where's Rupert? Where's Rupert? Come here, buddy. He's over there. You guys want to see Rupert? Here's Rupert. Yeah, Rupert. Where'd he go? Oh, okay. Say hi to everyone, Rupert. Say hi, guys. Hello. You guys see his Bitcoin chain? Yes. I'm gonna go take this little guy ashore and go out.